out there theory just because before we get to the mailbag about Superman.
See out there theory.
It's not mine. It's on.
No, it's your theory.
That was a great list,
It's your theory.
No,
by the way,
it's your
great
theory.
list,
It's
Joe.
okay.
I agree with a lot of those.
This is one of those ideas that are so
no.
crazy they might just work.
No.
What if
No.
Ultraman
Phil,
is Henry Cavill?
Look,
Phil
listen,
can believe.
Let me set it up first, Phil. Let me
listen,
set it.
I'm sorry, but I have it on very good authority.
I'm the
that
host,
he's not-
Phil. Hold on, Phil. Hold on.
Right.
I know you're passionate.
All
I'll
Don't let him bully you,
first.
Phil.
I'll go to you. No, I'm the post. Perp. I'm setting it up for you. What if James Gunn and Henry Cavill are playing 3D chess, and they're like, "You're gonna go nuts for this because we know that there may be. Well, there is. It looks like Ultraman.
He's evil Superman.
Evil Superman.
Like
But what if
I
they got
had my
Cavill?
theory.
Because that
I
looks a little
told
bit
you
bulkier.
my
That
theory,
looks like
and
Cavill's.
everyone
Is it just a stunt man,
didn't
or is that Cavill? What if I would be? I would be. That would be ballsy.
What if James Gunn even pulls an even bigger one? He says, "Guys, I didn't direct this one.
No,
It was
no,
directed
I don't
by my
think
friend
this is gonna
Zack
happen.
Snyder."
I don't think this is gonna happen, and I do want to see what James Gunn does alone, but that would be kind of ballsy if they went.
That would totally backfire though.
It would,
because you know all the Snyder fanatics, the Henry Cavill's our Superman. All those guys would be like, well, that's bullshit. Why wasn't he Superman then? If you were going to put him in the movie,
so this is not going to happen.
It's not a backfire.
I would be shocked if this happened. This was,
It's gonna be Bizarro. It's David Cornsweat.
I have it on good authority that this is not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Henry
Would you
Cavill
lock
kind
out
of
the
looks like
theater,
him.
Phil? Would you lock out the theater if they did this? Would you be like,
No.
that's it? Bye.
No, I'm not one of those. Look,
I go to Letterboxd and put 5 stars right then and there.
Look, I talked a lot of mad shit about James Gunn's Superman movie, but that trailer was actually a lot better than it had any right to be. I was actually really surprised how good it was. But it's no, there's no way, because from what I understand, Henry Cavill and James Gunn didn't exactly have a great conversation when things were all said and done.
Okay,
it's my understanding of that. I was told
So
by that
the conversation didn't end with the handshake and a hug.
What the fuck do you think, RJ?
Well,
James said, "Go to Marvel."
Does anyone else want to comment on this or what they think? It's just going to be most likely Corn Sweat, right? Nerd. Go ahead, Pilates. Can't wait to say something. Go ahead, Pilates.
As Phil has said, it's not gonna happen, right? I don't know
what
why
if
you
it
made.
did, Pilates?
No. Before
what if?
I'm going on a rant now. I'm going on a massive
Oh
rant
my
now.
goodness!
You put me on a rant now, man.
He wants his space.
Okay.
Everyone give him
Look,
space.
I don't know why you
holding
get this
space.
idea. I don't know why you get this idea that Henry Cavill will be in the DCU.
Can
We
you
had
put a
this
close up?
conversation-
This is disrespectful, Mask. Come on,
Because
blow
I'm
him
using
up.
the clip out.
So-
Okay, all
Blow
right.
him up.
So the thing is, yes, you had a conversation with James Gunn, but that he said in the future. It doesn't mean now. Where do you get this idea that it's going to be now for the Ultraman thing? Come on, have some common sense, guys.
I'm just thinking about. I'm just thinking about the shock
Hold
value
me
would be
off.
pretty insane.
And everyone,
Did
let's
that-
keep in mind this is a what if.
Yeah.
That's all this is. It's just a what if. Yeah.
Nerd, would you be open to it if they did this though? I don't. They're not going to. But if
they
they did this, would you be like, all right,
If
let
they
me
did
see this?
If they did it, hey, they do it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, but the biggest
Max, you can't-
downside of them doing it, again, as it's already been said, you're gonna get every Snyder, Henry Cavill supporter out there burning the internet down as to you had not James Gunn.
Let them try.
The previous regime told him, The Rock, whoever told him, go out there and announce that you're back, and then literally 5 minutes later, you're not back. It's just going to drum up all that over again. And
that's why I want to.
And thus far, what's happened just with the trailer alone, we talked about this on one of the last shows. The trailer's already done that in itself in many ways, comparing some of the things that were shown in this trailer to how Henry Superman was. So if this were to happen, it would just cause a bigger and larger divide amongst the DC fan base than there would have ever been.
And exactly, and yeah, and again, like
Let me
already,
tell
like, you just brought up the Degrassi comment. Like, no one has said it, that DC trailer has gotten more views than any DC trailer
Oh yeah,
ever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are talking about it.
No, he's talking about
gotten a lot of
Voltron. He's talking about Voltron.
Oh, Voltron. Yeah,
That's
I
been
didn't know there
filmed
was
the
an
last
update
3
on it.
weeks, but no one's been talking about it.
Okay, can you find us an article, RJ?
Wait,
since you-
we're not done with this. I didn't even get to say my
No,
shit.
I'm getting to you, Perp. But
Oh.
the first thing I think is, even if they tried this, I would be like, okay, I want to kind of see this, but then you would have the battle between Corn Sweat Superman versus Cavill's Ultraman, and that's such a headache. What? Corn Sweat beat Cavill? Oh my goodness. You would never that would be so
Why can't okay.
Go ahead,
First of
Perp.
all, I think it's way more likely to be Henry Cavill than David Cornsett.
I can't hear you.
I think it's way more likely that it's going to be Henry Cavill than David Cornsett.
And I'm just gonna say you're wrong.
I know, and that's fine. I know James Gunn is going to bring everything together, and I think there could be a way of making this work where this is Snyder's Superman. It's just he was brought over here because, as James Gunn has said, everything is going to sort of connect, I think, in its own way. And I totally see this being a Henry Cavill cameo over just David Cornsett again. Like, that's just,
No.
that to me seems weird.
No.
To have the
So
same
Perp,
act,
if,
like,
if you were directing, would you do it?
I would totally do it.
See, I will say that
Are you
it's
nuts?
not going to happen.
Because,
but
no, guys, because I would make that this is
I
Man of
believe in
Steel's
Perp.
I would make that this is Man of Steel Superman, that he's been like brainwashed or whatever. That way you could get the Snyder Bros. You get an arc for
I
this
love
guy
you, bro,
to
but you
get
get
the Snyder
murdered.
Bros to get their Superman back.
It's
You can
no.
have an arc.
I
At
would
the
love
same time, at the same time, the last thing that the DCU needs right now is it's just starting. Is in its first movie to get into this whole multiverse bullshit that Marvel and everybody
Well,
else.
not just that, but tying it directly back to Snyder. I mean, that's something they're trying to avoid. I mean, is it not enough that he was already inspired by Donner and Snyder visually and
Right.
thematically? Like, can we just? I guess I don't think anyone here on this panel is that lunatic, but for crying out loud, it would just make my day to see some fans of the prior iteration just kind of maybe try and be a little more open-minded about this. I mean, for crying out loud, like I'll say it first. I love Zack Snyder and I love Man of Steel. I love Batman v Superman. I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is hands down like the best comic book film ever made. I'm not expecting James Gunn's Superman to reach those heights, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be hot garbage either. Granted, I am also very critical of James Gunn. I don't really like Guardians 2. I think the Suicide Squad is a hot mess, and I do not like Peacemaker. So to me, when I see this Superman movie, I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually on board with what he's doing and what he's saying. He sounds like he's kind of dialed his shit back. That said, I think all of his goofy bubble fart bullshit is probably going to be relegated to characters like Guy Gardner and possibly Jimmy Olsen, but that's totally fine. He said it's a lot less humorous than the other stuff. All right, cool. He's saying everything that I'm like, all right, maybe he might make a good Superman movie, and I'm down for that. I just want a good story at this
point. The
point.
true sign that he's doing something different for me, Phil, is that he's not just doing a collection of like one-hit wonders from the 80s, 90s.
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
doing a sound. He's doing a score. He might have a few songs in there. I think he is approaching this one differently.
I agree, and I'm not too keen on using the Williams theme again, but at the same time, it's like I equate it to Johnny Cash's version of Hurt over 9 Inch Nails. I think Johnny Cash did a better version of that. I think John Murphy did a better version of the Williams thing because honestly, I really don't like the John Williams Superman theme. I think it's overrated and I think it's used way too much with too many different versions of Superman. And I think that's kind of wasteful when we have how many different versions of a Batman theme for how many different versions of Batman. Like, come on, like give Superman his due and give him a different theme every time.
I'm on that too. The thing that sold to me is if you're going to do another version, do a rocking version like that was in the trailer. Like,
and I like that.
That was
really
like 80s
that.
hair metal or early 90s. Like,
I don't like again that it is the Williams theme being used, but if you're going to put it under the tune of electric guitar, okay, fine. I warmed up to it because at first I was
just
like,
be for marketing too.
Yeah, exactly. There's that.
Does anyone else want to comment on this, Joe? Would you be on board with Cavill being Ultraman?
I think it would be weird.
Okay.
I mean, like
James Gunn making a weird movie.
I mean, look, it's James Gunn. He's never steered me wrong. So whatever he does, I'm sure it's going to be great. But I don't know why you would want to open that can of worms. Like it just seems like you're just kind of asking for trouble.
It's okay, Cal. It's just an opinion. Uncle Phil has hot takes. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
That's it. I just think it would be. You need to distance yourself from what came. It's the same reason I say it would be foolish to release the Air Cut before 2036.
Some of us are going to be dead, Joe. Damn.
Yeah, you put it out for a 20th anniversary. But right now, when you're trying to establish a new universe.
Didn't you
to
say that
rehash-
Gal Gadot was coming back though?
Well,
Yeah.
James Gunn said she's coming back, but
God.
what do you
Oh,
call it?
God.
Gal Gadot said she's coming back. But yeah,
she's
to
not.
rehash the
Probably
mistakes of the
misunderstood her.
past would be a terrible idea.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Then
I
we'll,
see
we'll
it.
go-
I want to know what
we'll-
RJ thinks.
Then we're going to talk about Voltron. Any Voltron fans here? Okay. All right, Talati, you've already said CJH, Austin, RJ.
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 If anyone sees what I see, RJ, you've said that you could totally see James.
Look,
Gunn
RJ's mute because he's like, I know who it
he's
is.
in another panel somewhere. Check
He's in
YouTube.
another-
Everyone
I have a
scour
pretty
YouTube. Which
strong
panel
suspicion
RJ's
I know
in?
who it is. I'm not going to say it though. I don't spoil it, but
It's not Henry
It's
Cavill.
corn sweat, I would think.
I hope it's not corn.
I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking too. But
RJ, didn't you say that James Gunn could possibly bring Snyderverse back in the future? Wouldn't this be a good sort of introduction?
no, that's what Brad says. I never said that.
Well, you did say that.
Well, anyone could.
Yeah,
Like, I
that,
mean, you-
that
you
idea is
could.
outlandish in its own right. I don't think that's ever.
I
gonna
mean,
happen.
if
Flash
they wanna
connects
do
it all.
if they want to do multiverse stuff like down the road, sure.
Flash already introduced the idea of just Nick Cage in there. That's it. It's all connected. Anything that come out could be connected
Yeah.
to Flash. Like,
You can bring
I mean,
back anything
look,
you want. You
I
can
don't
bring back
think
the
they're
West.
touching
James-
on
I don't
James
think they
Gunn
will.
stuff for a
James Gunn
while, though.
talking about using a lot of science fiction elements. The biggest surprise for me would be if he actually followed through with a lot of old Superman history and he had him go train with the Legion of Superheroes. That would be the deepest cut he could possibly do for this movie. That would be a big surprise. I don't see it happening though. It'd be cool, but I don't. That would be a fun thing. I think he would be in his wheelhouse, but I just don't see it happening.
Do you want Nostradamus CJ to predict it?
Yes. Predict it.
So, okay. So, Darkseid won. He destroyed the Snyderverse. Batman lost. But Superman is still evil Superman.
Ooh.
That's how you bring that back. You bring back Darkseid. The only Darkseid in the multiverse.
I like it.
I don't
like
get it. I don't understand what you just
I
said.
don't like I
I
said.
like
I don't
it.
think. I don't
There's
think they're
already
tou-
other dark sides in the multiverse.
Yeah, I don't think they're touching.
There's only one.
No, there's
What
already
about
more
the,
than
the
one.
Harley Quinn cartoon?
Well, there's one Thanos, right? But there's multiple dark sides.
Yeah.
Is that right?
No,
Yeah, we
no.
had-
there's
we-
multiple
I think you're thinking of
Thanos,
Kang,
but there's
Max.
only one Darkseid.
There are multiple.
We've
No,
already seen
that
more
is
than
our-
one.
Max
Darkseid.
is thinking of Kang.
That Darkseid.
Either way, though, like I said, I personally don't think they're going to touch multiverse stuff or Darkseid for a while.
Probably
Like,
not. No.
At least another 10
all,
years.
all
Hey,
I'm
can someone
saying is-
explain? I don't know the comics. What's Bizarro?
Popcorn. So,
Bizarro-
there's only one
Bizarro
Is he a
Darkseid in
multiverse
the
character?
No,
He's
Bizarro's
an
not
imperfect
multiverse.
duplicate of Superman.
Well,
Yeah, he's not
yes
a
and no.
duplicate of
Yes and
Superman,
no.
but he's like the
Okay.
opposite of Superman.
Bizarro is kind of yes and no when it comes to multiverse, depending on what version you do.
Yeah, so in some versions he's a clone.